Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our Women in Ocean Food, the Global Movement webinar. My name is Dylan Terry, and I'm with Hatch Blue. Really excited today to share more about our Women in Ocean Food program alongside the phenomenal panel we have here today. Um, so, Mariana, if you want to kick us off by sharing the slides, we can get into this. So, firstly, Women in Ocean Food is a program that supports female-led teams building solutions in ocean food. Um, Today, we're going to talk about the program itself, the story, where it started, and where we want to take this program going forward. There will be a section or a time for Q&A as well. We want this to be a very interactive session, so please, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat, and we'll be happy to address any of those questions you have. Sarah, any other housekeeping before we go into this?
Sorry,
No?
Dylan, did you say Sarah or is there
I
any?
said no, I said Sarah. Any other housekeeping before we go into the slides?
I don't think so, but I might as well just introduce myself really quickly right now. I won't be on the slides. I'm just in the background. Um, my
Hmm.
name is Sarah. I'm the community and marketing manager for Hatch Blue, and really excited to be here. Really happy to see the development of this program. And beyond that, I'm just in the background, but I'll be back at the end to help with questions. So thank you for being here, everyone.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. All right, Mariana, let's keep rolling. So before going into the program and the story, let's introduce the team we have here today. So firstly, over to you, Gracie.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Gracie White. I'm the Director of Ocean Investments at Conservation International Ventures. I've been at CI for about 5 years now, and I've been with the Women in Ocean Food Program pretty much since the start. And just also apologies for any background noise. There's a big thunderstorm happening in the background, so sorry if you hear any big booms. I'll try to keep my microphone off. Mariana, over to you.
Hi, my name is Mariana. As Gracie mentioned, I live in La Paz, Mexico, where our Women in Ocean Food Latin America program takes place since 2024. And we are now preparing the 2026 edition, which is the third, and we'll continue this project in Latin America and the Caribbean until 2027. So yes, if you have any questions regarding Latin America and the Caribbean, I'm the person, and you'll see my contact details afterwards. So I pass the mic to Shamim.
Thank you so much, Mariana. Hi, everyone. Happy that you've joined us today. You've taken your time to join us. My name is Shamim Nyanda. I'm from Tanzania, and I'm also excited for this program because we are having this in Africa as well for the first time. So I'm the community manager for Africa and super excited to, receive your applications as well, but also to go through your applications and see what amazing things that African women are also building. So back to you, Dylan. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Shimon. I'm Dylan Terry, the Innovation Studio Director at Hatch Blue. So I manage all of our Innovation Studio programs, including this program, Women in Ocean Food. So with that, let's keep it moving, Mariana. Gracie, do you want to introduce CI Ventures and give a little bit more of the background there?
Yeah, sure. So CA Ventures is a venture philanthropy vehicle under Conservation International, the environmental NGO. We operate in about 30 countries around the world, and CI Ventures in particular invests in all sorts of enterprises in the geographies where we work. We are an impact-first impact investing vehicle. So we look particularly for enterprises that we feel have outsized social or environmental impact potential. So far, we've made almost 50 investments in a multitude of innovative enterprises, created over 3,000 jobs. And these investments have gone on to catalyze almost 2 million in follow-on financing. And something I'm particularly proud of is that just about 2/3 of our portfolio, the Oceans portfolio, is women-led. So either founder, co-founder, or a C-suite level leadership. Yeah, back to you, Dylan.
Thank you, Gracie. So Hatch Blue, we are a global accelerator and investor focused on developing sustainable seafood. We've done that primarily through investing in technologies and solutions related to sustainable aquaculture, but have also been investing in areas like blue carbon and cell-based seafood and other kind of related value chains. We do that primarily across 3 main business units. That's our programs team, where we sit, our investment team, which manages about 130 million of assets under management, and also our consulting team. You can see some of the numbers here in terms of the number of companies we've invested in. We're also very proud to say that 1 in 3 of our portfolio companies are women-led, and as Wayne, our MD, likes to say, most of our most successful companies are also women-led, which is pretty cool. And yeah, we've run nearly 18 innovation studios now, all across the globe. And I think what's really cool is CI Ventures and Hatch Blue coming together to combine our expertise. When we work on this Women in Ocean Food program, it feels like a really nice partnership. The lens that Hatch Blue comes from more of a venture capital technology scaling perspective, combined with the impact investing work and some of the other financing options that CI Ventures brings. We think it's a really nice partnership to accelerate those businesses. And I think later on in the presentation, we'll touch on the type of businesses that we look for in this program. And I think then it will start to really make sense around why we partner on this program. But yeah, let's keep moving, Mariana. Okay, Gracie, over to you. Let's hear the story, given you've been here since day 1, maybe, or pretty early anyway. So
maybe day 2. So Women in Ocean Food, it started off as just an idea about 5 years ago. Hatch, as Dylan mentioned, has been running a number of accelerator programs and venture studios for far beyond 5 years. But we sort of, and I had been an intern for Hatch previously, and I've been acting as a mentor for a number of Hatch programs. So I've been able to be involved with Hatch's programs for quite a while now, I think since 2018. And we noticed that in the programs, oftentimes women's voices were getting drowned out. They weren't necessarily taking up as much space as we feel like they maybe could have or should have. We also noticed that, looking at it from a global lens, there's a massive gap in venture financing when it comes down to gender. I think less than 2% of venture dollars globally goes to women-led startups. And that means we're leaving people behind and we're leaving ideas behind. And our take is that we need as many ideas, as many solutions as possible to be given a chance to become reality, given the number of environmental and social threats facing our world, oceans being a big part of that. So with that, woo, sorry for the thunder there. That was a big one. Singapore. With that, we sort of came together and Hatch did a virtual program, Women in Aquaculture. This was during COVID, so it was done entirely online, but supported a number of women-led companies through an online accelerator program. I was able to join as a mentor, and between myself and Wayne at the end of that program, we kind of said, hey, there's something really special here. There's something really special about having an all-female cohort and kind of the community and collaboration that grew out of that. So we said, well, let's double down and let's do it in partnership with CI, and as a result of in partnership with CI, let's do regional cohorts based on the regions where CI has a footprint and has the most on the ground expertise. That being Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Sub-Saharan Africa. So we kicked things off in Southeast Asia in 2022. We did a program based in Indonesia. That was kind of our first in-person pilot program, and it was incredible. It was kind of everything that we hoped it would be, and the community and collaboration and connections that grew out of that were enough to say, hey, okay, this works. Let's grow it. Let's do it big, and let's do it in other countries as well. So that brought us to Latin America and the Caribbean, where we've now run 2 programs back to back in 2024 and 2025. And we have donor support to keep running it for at least another 2 years. And then this year, we're really excited to also launch in Africa. This is a new region for us, but we are confident based on the work that both Hatch and CI have been doing in the region previously, that there's just a lot of talent there, a lot of ideas, a lot of innovation, both around freshwater aquaculture as well as ocean foods. And so we're so excited to really dive into the applications and work with some teams. And I think we'll get into the vision later. But yeah, I guess to sort of double down on the problem and why we think this program is really important. The gender gap in venture capital, I mentioned that stat before, less than 2% of venture funding goes to women-led teams. But even looking beyond venture capital and looking at microfinancing and debt opportunities and general access to capital, women-owned small, medium enterprises in emerging markets face about a 1.5 trillion credit gap. And while women in emerging markets often start businesses, they unfortunately often have to discontinue them due to a lack of primarily access to capital, but also things like training opportunities and business support networks. And we see that as a really an opportunity for us to be able to provide some of that additional support and investment readiness. And as Dylan mentioned, the women-led companies within Hatch's portfolio are quite successful. We've seen the same thing at CI Ventures, but actually a study done by, I think it was Harvard, Boston Consulting Group, and Harlem Capital found that women-owned startups generally earn 2x as much per dollar invested than those owned by men. And women-owned SMEs are more likely to repay unsecured loans. There's a lot of reasons for why this is the case. Happy to get into it at a later date. This is a subject I can really nerd out on for a long time, but I want to be conscious of time, so I'll keep things short. But basically, it's time to bridge that gap and start chipping away at the gender inequity in all 3 of these regions. So in Africa, looking kind of pan-Africa across the continent as a whole, Partech found that in 2024, about 83 startups with female founders raised equity in 2024, just 18% of all deals. And notably, that's with female founders, but it also includes mixed teams. So I think actually almost all of them also had male co-founders. So it's the data didn't exist for all female teams, but I have a feeling it would be less than 18%. In Latin America and the Caribbean, women start about 21% of new businesses annually, but remain, with a 93 billion credit gap. So not only does addressing this gap help the women that start the businesses, but it also helps the broader community and kind of the economic health of the region as a whole. So our vision, as mentioned, we've been operating in Latin America and the Caribbean for the last couple of years. We're launching this year in sub-Saharan Africa, and we've done one program in Asia. We're hopefully going to return to Asia in the future. But really, we see this as a program having a truly global presence and making a difference locally and globally. So deep impact on a local basis, but with a really shared global vision and a shared global network that hopefully benefits local actors and local participants equally. So our big picture vision is a world where women lead in ocean food innovation. They are fully funded by appropriate investors. They're globally connected, have strong networks both with other founders as well as investors, partners, clients, customers, and are building ventures that restore oceans, restore freshwater habitats, and uplift communities. So we really look for enterprises that produce nutritious protein, create value from ecosystem services, advance kind of climate-friendly, climate-resilient food production methods, as well as provide true economic opportunities for coastal communities, particularly for other women. And with that, I'll turn things over back to Dylan to talk about the program in detail.
Thank you, Gracie. Okay, next slide, Mariana. I'm going to just walk us through what this program actually looks like. So if there's any potential, if there's any people on the call who are thinking about applying for the program or are curious about the program, this part of the presentation should hopefully clear up some of those questions. So as I touched on previously, the Women in Ocean Food Studio is an equity-free business support program for founders, entrepreneurs, and community leaders driving change in this economy. I want to touch on the equity free. So there's no cost to join the program. There will be no equity taken in your business, and there'll also be no investment in your business. So for people considering joining, it's a pretty low risk, low requirement in terms of cost or equity wise. It is a 12-month program. So for Africa, this will kick off in the first week of December. And for Latin America, the program will kick off towards the end of January. It's a very intensive start to the program. So to start the program, we bring all teams together in one location for an intensive 10-day program where we really kind of I'm going to say shake you up a little bit, see how you're thinking, try and change your perspective, hear about your business, really try and present an environment where you can meet other women, meet the mentors and experts that we bring in, and really change how you think about yourself and also your business. After the intensive in-person 10-day program, participants then receive 12 months of post-program support, which is led by the community managers, but they bring in other experts and other support. So what does this look like, and what do we focus on? So the program really is to, as I said previously, to help female-led teams change how they think about themselves and also how they think about their business. We focus on, I guess, 4 main pillars. The first one being that strategic business support. So within Hatch Blue and within Conservation International, and also the external mentors we bring into the program, there's a lot of knowledge and expertise around how you fundraise, how do you present and tell the story of your business, how do you approach a certain market if you're building a solution for the shrimp industry or for the catfish industry. Here's what we know about what it takes to build a business in that industry. And we hope through our expertise and knowledge in those specific industries, we can help you accelerate your market entry or accelerate your fundraising journey through that knowledge that we have. We bring in a lot of external mentors as well as our own internal teams to really help you understand that as well. So that could be expert external investors, expert industry leaders, or people who specialize in areas such as branding, marketing, financial modeling, all those kind of like key things you need to know and get quite good at as an entrepreneur building a business. One of the other key pieces is access to a global network. So both Hatch Blue and CI have a deep network, a deep global network of aquaculture and blue economy leaders. Also, we have a deep access to not just our investment, but the investment that exists within our network. Different venture investors, different philanthropists, different impact investors. And we've seen that today, like some of the women-led teams that have come through Women in Ocean Food have managed to raise money from Hatch, from CI, and also other investors in our network. And then lastly is the alumni network. I know it's last here, but I think this can often be the most powerful in terms of like connecting you to a global network of other women who are building solutions in this industry. And what we've seen is been so powerful in just how willing these women are to support other women. And there's not like a zero-sum competitive mindset at all. It's quite the opposite. It's like, how can we help and develop other women? Because we as women know how important that is for our oceans and for our communities. And it really is one of the more special things about this program. And then, yeah, the long-term support. So once you come into this program, we say you're then in the Women in Ocean Food family. You get the post-programmatic support, the access and the knowledge to our expertise, and just being a part of this group of people, I think gives you access, gives you knowledge, and I think it has a lot of value for participants. Okay, so who are we looking for? If you're on the call here today and you're thinking, am I the right person for this program? Hopefully this will clear this up for you. So there's two types of businesses that we look for in this program. The first is what we call locally rooted enterprises. For example, this could be a women-led cooperative or an association working on an innovative solution in their community. This could be an SME that's working locally that has something interesting, something different about what they're building, and we want to help you think about how can you grow that outside of just your community. It could be, enterprises looking at community, food security, livelihood, sustainability. It's a business that's locally rooted, but maybe we see something in that business that we think we can either help grow or bring to other parts of the world or other communities. So that's the first one. And then I think the second one is what we call scalable startups. So that's where we're looking for a technology or a solution that we think can really grow into having large commercial potential, can potentially raise venture capital funding, can scale across a region or internationally. And we've had some amazing scalable startups come through Women in Ocean Food already. We'll talk about some of those success stories in a minute. But I think I do just want to reiterate here is this is a business support program. We're looking for businesses that are thinking about how they build out their team, how they build their product, how they get to profit. You know, that's very important for us here. It's not a grant program. It's not a you know, it's a community program. This is a business support program, and we're looking for exceptional women that are building those businesses. In terms of the focus areas that we're looking at, so the first one is sustainable aquaculture and seafood. So that's anything around aquaculture production systems, the health and genetics that goes into fish, feed. So, you know, is there a solution around the aquaculture feed? For example, in sub-Saharan Africa, tilapia farming and catfish farming is really developing into being a huge industry. But one of the most common challenges we hear from Africa is quality seed or quality fingerlings, and then also quality feed. So there's huge potential in places like sub-Saharan Africa to develop local feed solutions for the local problems that exist there. Also seafood processing, value-added products, the whole circularity, upcycling of waste. Cold chain is a very interesting area, and one of our panelists here, Shamim, did some work in cold chain before, and maybe she can tell that story another day. Also looking around like ocean conservation and regeneration, what can we do to protect our oceans around blue carbon solutions, sustainable fisheries, the whole seaweed value chain, very interesting areas to us. And I will just add as well here, especially in the African context, this program is called Women in Ocean Food, but lakes are also highly relevant here. So food and aquaculture and conservation as it relates to the lakes as well in Africa are definitely relevant to the program. And then lastly, just around the enabling tools and technologies that go into this. And I think if you're doubtful around if my company is the right area, go and look at CI's website, go and look at Hatch Blue's website. You can see the types of companies that we've invested in the past. That will give you a good indication on like what types of businesses we want to help and work with. Okay, I will pass this over to our regional leads to talk a little bit about their region and what's going on there. So maybe firstly over to Shamim.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dylan. And as I mentioned from the beginning, is this program is happening for the first time in Africa. And I believe as a young woman who has been working in the space, as we call it, a male-dominated space, I feel like this is an opportunity for us as women to continue rebuilding those solutions that you are working on. It doesn't matter whether you're from the lake zone, it doesn't matter whether you're from the river zone, the ocean zone, as long as you're building something in the space, but also as long as you are working on supporting women. And I think one thing that Gracie mentioned is around nutrition. And I think that is a huge problem that Africa is dealing with at the moment. And ocean foods or lake foods is one thing that contributes to that. So if you're a woman who's building a solution in that space, this is your opportunity. And for me, I call this a revolutionary program for women across Africa, because most of the times women in Africa, we tend to just be given solutions to work on, or we tend to not take up higher positions. And this is just that opportunity for you to take up that higher position, to build that confidence for yourself. This is open to all sub-Saharan Africa, whether you're from Ghana, Nigeria, all the way to South Africa, whether you're from Zimbabwe, you're from the Gambia. This is an opportunity for you to apply and be a part of this wonderful program that is going to help you not only build your confidence, but connect you to networks of expertise, but also link you to other women that are building solutions just like yourself. So don't miss out. The deadline is the 17th of October, and I'm just looking forward to walk this journey with you as we continue building the Africa we want. As we say, our Agenda 2063, this is something that can really contribute to that agenda when it comes to ocean food. So thank you so much, Dylan, and I'll pass over to my colleague Mariana to give us a glimpse of what is happening in Latin America and the Caribbean. Thank you.
Thanks, Shamim. So as I said in the beginning, this will be the third year that we do this in Latin America and the Caribbean. The program is based in La Paz, Mexico, and the next edition will happen at the end of January, first week of February. Applications close on October 31st. So before you go out and celebrate Halloween, if you do, make sure you've submitted your application to Women in Ocean Food Latin America. So, and just I briefly want to say the type of projects that we're seeing and that are part of the cohorts of Latin America and the Caribbean. So we've got the biotech, aquaculture, like the pure science CEO type of startups. But we also see lots of efforts that are based on community, on circular economy, that combine livelihoods with ocean conservation and aquaculture activities, some fisheries activities. We're seeing lots of groups of women, mostly women groups that are innovating with low technologies solutions. For instance, we have a team from Colombia that makes collagen from fish scales after the processing. So like that's their way to innovate. We're also seeing lots of circular economy solutions, adding value to otherwise discards of seafood. And yes, there's a lot of value in having a cohort that is not only about CEOs and high-tech solutions and that type of leadership, but also combining that group with the community-based approaches and businesses that can uplift each other. So we're seeing that some of the teams become mentors to other teams. So that's a really rich environment that is created during the program. So yes, if you're not sure if you are the right fit, I suggest, like, first of all, apply, and then we'll make that decision. So I'll talk about the community day, which is the final day of the 10-day program. Throughout the program, the teams work on their pitch. And working on their pitch doesn't only mean that they're working on communicating what they do, but sometimes they are confronted with reflections about the core of their project. So we hold a pitch competition at the end. Well, a few days before the community day, and at community day, the finalists get to present their project in person to the audience, which is made up of regional stakeholders, partners, investors that join us that day. And that happens in Latin America, and that will also happen in Africa. And that covers another one of our goals, which is to bring visibility to these teams and to make these initiatives, projects, businesses, ideas, startups, role models for other people. So whenever you need to think of, okay, I need to think of an example of a great biotech company or aquaculture technology company or community-based company or enterprise, then you immediately have people come to mind from these type of events and showcases. So it's a very, very exciting day, and it's like the perfect closing to an exciting but also demanding experience. So yes, that's one of my favorite days out of all the days throughout the year. So I'll just I'll continue to talk about some success stories, but I'll first let Gracie talk about one of the teams from the first Women in Ocean Food innovation studio in Southeast Asia, which is Blue Throne Group.
Yeah, absolutely. So in our first program in Southeast Asia back in 2022, Yolanda joined the program based out of Thailand. And they've definitely been a success story since. They've received pretty sizable funding from Hatch Blue, as well as I think other investors to build up a production facility in Thailand. And based on some recent conversations, I believe they're currently thinking about expanding into some other countries in Southeast Asia as well. So that's definitely one that we're excited about and continue to watch, and hopefully we'll bring more investors in to continue supporting them.
Yes, and then I'll move on to Aquit and Marea Rosa, which are teams that we've had as participants in the Latin American Caribbean cohorts. First, Aquit is a company, a biotech company that is developing a solution that will reduce the need for antibiotics in salmon farming and then other species in aquaculture. So, and Marea Rosa, they are a shrimp producer in Ecuador that don't necessarily have an innovative approach technically, but organizationally and from a marketing perspective and from a quality perspective and from a standards perspective, they're really a groundbreaking project because mainly the big shrimp farms in Ecuador, those are the ones that have the money and the resources to apply world-class standards for shrimp farming, but they, like a small farm in Ecuador, like they're really putting the effort and the investments and the systems in place to bring those, to elevate those standards and produce quality shrimp for the local market, for the national market in Ecuador, which has not done before. And they're working with a tremendous responsibility in terms of social contributions and the care that they give to the people that work with them and the inclusion of women in the space. So like these are really other types besides the tech innovations, other type of innovations that we see on the ground and that we support. And mainly what all these three teams have in common is that they present a novel solution somehow in ocean food system or marine value chains or inland aquaculture that is new to the region or to the world. Of course, they have a strong and compelling project that is led by a woman. They all have scalable solutions in their own ways. Of course, climate positive solutions that always provide opportunity for the communities that work around them. And yeah, well, these are remarkable projects and companies that we're very proud to name participants of Women in Ocean Food.
So looking ahead, as I mentioned, we're really hoping to create a global community. So holding really regional, locally focused cohorts, but then also holding some virtual events and creating a WhatsApp community and thinking creatively about different ways that we can create truly global, international, cross-boundary connections to further support for female entrepreneurs around the world. We think it's incredibly important, both for you, the female founders, but also for the rest of the world and the ecosystems and the communities that stand to benefit from your success. So in addition to continuing to expand and repeat programming in new and existing regions, ultimately, we really would love to be able to directly channel more funding to the female entrepreneurs that go through our program. We've thought about things like creating a fund, creating a technical assistance facility. Those are all in the works. We can't say anything concrete yet, but it's part of the long-term vision. But looking ahead just 5 years, I think that it's not out of the question to say that we think we'll be able to catalyze about 40 million in follow-on and co-financing, create ideally over 1,000 jobs, and support about 2,500 livelihoods through the development and growth of businesses that go through our programs. We've got a great team, several of which are on this call here, but mostly we are spread out very globally and have a pretty diverse range of skills and experiences that we're all enthusiastic to bring to you. Yep, all of this is made possible from support of our generous donors. And I won't read them all. You can see their logos on the slide, but massive thank you to them for making this possible. And for any regionally specific questions, either about Latin America and the Caribbean or Sub-Saharan Africa, you can contact Mariana and Shamim. You can see their email addresses here. Maybe we pause for a minute in case anyone wants to take a quick screenshot. Maybe we'll give it 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And yeah, we'll pause here. If you have any questions, please include them in the chat function here on Zoom, and we're happy to answer them.
I'm tagging back in here for the end for this question section. Thank you, Gracie. I did write chat on that slide, but if you could actually please enter your questions into the Q&A box if you have them. In the meantime, while people are generating their courage to ask their questions, we do have just from conversations that Dylan, Wayne, Mariana, Shamim have had with interested peoples in this program, we have come across some common questions that we'd like to make sure to answer here. The first one is, my work is based on a lake rather than the ocean. Would this program called Women in Ocean Food still be relevant for me, someone who works on a lake? Dylan, we haven't heard from you in a little bit. Would you like to answer that, since you might have seen that on the ground while you were last in Tanzania?
Sure. I will start off, and then I'll hand it over to Shamim, given her experience in the region. But yeah, this is a common question we've received, and this program is definitely open to people building solutions at the lake, for example, in Africa, specifically in Kenya and Tanzania, for example. Lake aquaculture is becoming is playing just a very important role in blue food, and women as well are playing an increasingly important role in those ecosystems. So yes, absolutely. If you're building solutions around lake aquaculture, we want to talk to you, because it's critical, and it aligns exactly what we're trying to build with Women in Ocean Food. But maybe Shamim, I know your life started at the lake, so I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that.
No, I think Diane just did it well, and I think it's as we said, we have more than 38 coastal countries. That includes lakes, rivers, out of 54 countries. So that speaks a lot, and yeah, this gives us that opportunity to say we are not leaving out anybody from the lake zone or the rivers, or those that are also doing ponds and all those kind of stuffs. So this is an opportunity for you. Just apply, and I know at the end of the day we are going to figure out something together, as long as you're building a solution across Africa that is working in those specific angles in terms of aquaculture and what has been mentioned in the presentations. So this is your opportunity. But also, if you know someone, you're in this call and you feel like maybe you're not a good fit, which I think you are, and if you know someone who is a good fit for this specific program, please reach out to them. My email is there. You can share it with them, and we can have a one-on-one with them as well. So just reach out to me myself, and we can have a conversation regarding how do we move forward, but also make sure you submit your applications in advance, because the 17th of October is just around the corner. So whether we are from the lake, the river, the ocean, anything to do with water, this is an opportunity for you. Thank you.
Yep, well said, Shamim. I think we'll move on to the second question. I was gonna touch on how we were discussing possibly renaming this whole program so we could encompass everyone that is in working with the water, but we'll save that for another conversation. What is we do get this quite a bit just because we know we have busy leaders who are running their business, and this is something extra in addition to their busy schedule. So what is the commitment to the studio days? Will we have time to work on our personal workload whilst attending? Gracie, maybe since you're kind of day one OG, would you like to respond here?
Yeah, I would say that the 10 days of in-person programming are very intense and pretty full on. I would say you might be able to keep up with your day-to-day emails, but beyond that, you should expect to be kind of in the room, present, participating in the workshops, and learning from the mentors that we bring in. We are confident that the programming we're providing is valuable and will be useful to you and your business. And so you'll get the most value out of the program, the more time and effort that you put into it.
I'd just like to add to that, just because I've had the honor of being at a couple of these studios in person. It is extremely intensive. So it can't be understated how much work this truly is for you. But there will be time at the end of the day for you to work on your personal projects. But just for those 10 days on site, focus should really be in the room. We do have a question in the chat from BBA. It ties into the question around financial investment opportunity that's associated with this program. BBA's question is, what is the scope of the grant? Who would be best to answer this? I don't know. Dylan, would you like to take it, or Gracie, would you like to take a stab?
I'll jump in. Yeah, so this program, it's not at the outset, it is not a grant, although we do cover all costs of participation. So we cover your flights, we cover your hotel room, we give you a food stipend. So there is quite a lot of money that is put into you, but it is to cover all of the costs of participation of the program versus a grant to you or your business. In future, we'd love to explore ways in which we can maybe create grants, but we're not there yet. So the financial benefits of joining the program is that for 2 weeks, all of your costs are covered.
Mm-hmm. We try to lower those barriers for sure, because it can be a lot, but because of our generous sponsors, we're able to make that happen. So one more reason to apply. Don't think we try to make it as simple as possible for you. Next question that we get a lot. How much opportunity will we have to work directly with the Hatch Blue and CIV teams, Conservation International Ventures teams? Mariana, would you like to answer this one?
Yes. You have every opportunity, because the Hatch Blue teams and the Conservation International Venture teams are there all day, every day. And they're open to always start a conversation about your pitch, about your company. You can ask questions, and you also have the opportunity to reach out to mentors, the mentors that we fly into La Paz, or to, in this case, Dar es Salaam, that we fly in to be part of the program. We have a schedule where you can write your name to have a conversation, a one-to-one conversation with mentors and with people at CI at Hatch Blue. So you basically have us for 10 days all for you, and we're very much there to talk to you and to guide you and to listen to what you're going through and to learn more about what you're doing and learning more from you, of course.
Yeah, well said, Mariana. I don't think it can be understated how many people you will have with this program that just want to see you succeed, and they'll do whatever they can to help you and make sure they do whatever in their power to make that happen or help you make that happen. Let's see. Please ask any questions you have, put them in the chat. That's what we're here for today. It's in the Q&A box. A pretty simple one. How many companies do we accept into the program? Anyone care to answer this? Mariana?
Yes, ideally 10, that's always the plan, but I don't think we've ever selected only 10, right, Gracie? I mean, every cohort has had 10, 11, 12, even the first one in Latin America had 13 companies selected because there's always this range of companies and solutions and geographies that I think it's hard to only select 10.
Yeah. 10 is the target, but sometimes there's too many good applicants. And so we nudge that number up a little bit.
It's what we call good problems to have.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, I know we kind of covered this in the, how many more minutes we have? About 7. We can end early if we need to, if no one has any questions, but just something we should cover really quickly is, what do I need to apply? I said that really slowly. What do I need to apply? Who would like to answer that really quickly? Just the general overview, quick overview.
I can touch on. I think application is important in terms of what we look for in an application. The application link is on the website. So if you go to hatchblue.com, go to programs, you'll see the application link. It's a very short application, but I would say what we're looking for is very talented, high potential women that we think we can support and uplift them. Whether you're really early in building your journey, whether you're much later stage, we think we have tools that can help you. So if you think you're passionate about what you're building and you really want to build something in this space, try and get that across in the application form, even if you're super early stage. We just want to find amazing women that we can uplift through this program. So yeah, that's all I'll say on that.
Yeah. Yay, we have questions in the chat. First one will go in order to Bisa. After the 10-day intensive, how does the mentorship program work? Gracie, would you mind taking a whack at this?
Yeah, I'll kick things off, but then I think Mariana is also well placed to answer it. But after the 10-day intensive, support doesn't just disappear. We still, are there for you to help advise, answer any questions. We also have set up a pretty strong, robust WhatsApp community so that you can stay in touch with not just your cohort, but also other cohorts of women in ocean food programs. But I'll let Mariana talk about the specific hands-on support since she's been hands-on in leading that.
Yes, so it's not mentorship per se, it's support. And that comes in the form of course, the WhatsApp group, which is an open channel of communications to reach back to the community and the Hatch Blue and the CIV teams. But we also have online sessions, extra sessions outside of the studio that are online because everyone's spread out across countries. The support also takes place in forums, events, webinars, summits, etc., where we invite people that have participated in the program to share the stage with us. So that brings us another opportunity to bring visibility to the teams. What else? Like, for instance, this year, a cool opportunity opened up to be part of the One Ocean expedition. And this takes place on a Norwegian toll ship that is sailing throughout the world. So 6 participants from Women in Ocean Food from previous year will board that ship for an 8-day experience from San Diego, United States to La Paz, Mexico. And that's an exclusive opportunity for the Women in Ocean Food community. That those type of opportunities don't always come together, but whenever there's a chance to, organize a buyers meeting in a summit, or to I don't know, make an extra introduction to one of the teams, to a mentor or an industry leaders, we always take that chance to help you, the participants.
This is a major reason why it's so integral, the work that Mariana and Shamim will do for their regional communities, because they're in the know with a lot of these things, so they can connect you with our network, and they can really be your touch point between your program and what's next. So yeah, just moving on. If we're not able to go over time because we have 2 minutes left and we just have a couple of really good questions to cover, we will respond to you directly via email. But okay, I'm sorry, I missed my spot. Oh, okay. Pranitha. Hi, I work in the ocean food space and based out of India, Asia. This seems like such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much. And seems like a perfect fit. Would love to know if there are any such opportunities for those based from Asia. Gracie, I'm gonna.
Yeah, so we are. So the reason I'm currently in Singapore is largely to try to fundraise for a Women in Ocean Food Asia cohort. So it is certainly something we are hoping to do in future, but we need to secure the sponsorship to make it possible. So stay tuned.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I was gonna say stay tuned. From Yanara from Venezuela. What time is it there? Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello, good morning from Margarita, Venezuela. My name is Yanara Caraballo from the new seaweed project, Margarita. We are Kappa ficus, Euchematopsis, and Gracilariopsis farm project to export and to manufacture nutraceuticals from seaweed food. Is it possible for us to apply? Very simple answer, but I will give it to our resident community manager. Mariana, please.
Yes, you can apply. In fact, last year we had selected someone from Venezuela, and unfortunately it wasn't possible for her to actually attend Women in Ocean Food Innovation Studio. But this year we're giving even more time for people to get the right visas and travel documents to be able to attend the studio if selected. So more than welcome to apply. I don't know if you catched my email, but I'll write it in the chat for you and for everyone. And if Shamim can do the same thing, then people can reach out to us. So just write it down.
I don't know if you're having a little bit of issue with the chat, Mariana, but we can follow up with these details as well via email.
Oh, yeah.
We are at time, but I want to give it to this lovely panel. If there's any final thoughts, if there's any final thoughts from each of you that you'd like to mention before we conclude today.
I'll start, but I don't know if there's much to add to that. Just if you're there wondering if this is for you, it probably is. So just please apply. We really just want to find women that we can help and support and uplift through this program. And yeah, if you're out there thinking about applying, just apply, and hopefully we can work with you.
Yep, I second that. Really excited to read your applications.
Yeah, I obviously heard it. I don't know how many more people apply. It's all we can say, really. We don't know about you if you don't raise your hand. So just
Oh yeah,
go out.
also check out our YouTube channel. You'll see like lots of videos and mini documentaries about what the program looked like in the past. It's pretty cool. You might cry, you might laugh, but they're pretty nice videos. So go and check out the Hatch Blue on YouTube, and you'll see all of the like previous video footage from previous programs.
Follow our socials. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. And this is recorded. This will be up on our socials as soon as we can get it up, as soon as we can. So thank you again, everyone, and have a good morning, evening, day, night, wherever you are.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Apply.